also to writing, does that create even more stress for you? I would assume writing will be finished before you actually get into the actual shooting, but are there any script changes that you have while you're providing your direction? You're just like, you know what, I kind of want to tweak some of the dialogue or anything like that. I wanted to know what it's like doing both for the series.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think the only way to do it where one director is directing all the episodes of a season is you have to be done with the scripts way before you start shooting them. I mean, you have to be in prep with the scripts fully written. And then obviously things happen, you recast, you find new locations, someone gets pregnant, you have to rewrite the role. We actually did that for Iris's sister Leanne, who the pregnancy aspect that now is a pretty nice little subplot in there was not originally on the page, but then these things happen, you rewrite it, and I can only say, my assistant Claudia was tremendously helpful in just the logistics of last minute changes, but it became sort of second nature for me to, it was just one conversation I had to have. It was with myself, so it was all doable.
Hey, that's a fun last minute surprise. So it's great that you were able to bounce back so quickly from getting that news. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit from a writing standpoint with Iris, who's our focus for the series. I want to know, how is it writing for a character that some could say is unlikable at times, but with adding in this backstory with Iris's family and why she's doing the motivations behind what she is doing, how is it balancing that from a writing standpoint to make sure that you can keep your audience invested in this main character?
Yeah, I think my main goal was to, toss in the audience into a new season and kind of pose the question to them in the pilot. Well, who is this new Iris? Does she think she's a Superman? Does she think, is she in over her head? Because we see her at the bowling alley kind of making these blanket statements about a guy bowling next to them. And we're like, what is going on? Is she really this good at reading people? So then we're sort of enticed to find out. And I think as we follow her into these endeavors, what was important to me is that we can be inside of her head, understand why she's behaving in any given moment, what her end game is. It becomes sort of, clear as the season progresses, so that then even if we're like meeting her as someone who is doing this out there work, we halfway through the season, I think it really shifts, and we're getting to see her Achilles heel and what her biggest obstacle is. And I think in the end, she's just a person. She's just a human. Yeah. And I like that we sort of get to meet her on that level as the show progresses.
It's interesting you talk about how the interaction with people, right? And I think after watching the first couple of episodes of the series, it really changes how I view people. But I think most importantly, understand the psychology behind people, what they love, what they want, what motivates them. And I really wanted to know, for you writing this season, has that changed like how you view the world, how you view the people that you interact with on a day-to-day basis?
I would say that every character I write, I try to give them their own idiosyncrasies, and like the more out there, the better. And then you kind of dissect it and you find the humanity that we all share. And that to me is the most interesting discovery for an audience. Like when I'm an audience and thinking of what I love, like I love discovering, someone like Walter White, and then even though he does despicable things, I get it. Like we all have that sort of humanness in us to understand what's driving him and why he's doing what he's doing. It's just tremendous sort of opportunity to build bridges. I mean, not to endorse murder, but I'm just talking about it in a more general sense that, I think what Julia is bringing to the role is just a really sort of nuanced humanity, and that it's about connection. The show is all about how we connect to people, others, and how technology sort of interferes and makes us question our own intentions. So that I think she brings her own humanity to it in the most beautiful way, and I was so excited to write to her I think that it goes back to one of your other questions. Like I knew she was going to be the lead before the writing process was finished. So I had this sneaky little window of time where I was, able to tailor it to her. And that was really exciting.
It's interesting you bring up technology because you have me side-eyeing technology now after watching the series. And I love how it blends into Iris's story, but also too, our connection with technology and how that can be used for the good of really helping us understand humans better, but also to really that fine line of invading privacy. And I wanted you to talk a little bit more about what your inspirations were, what kind of some of the underlying themes you had when writing in this other layer of how we consume or abuse technology.
Yeah, I mean, any technology, it can be used for good or bad, right? I mean, we've seen this throughout history. And I I do, you know, think that probably on some level I was bringing all my own fears about where we're headed technologically and where it's all going with sort of um, privacy and surveillance and the day-to-day being instantaneously global in a way because we can connect and just it's very elusive. So all of those fears and questions I think I just put into the writing of the show. And you know it'd be great to have some more conversation about it with hopefully a lot of different people and just to figure this out collectively. And I don't have the answers. All I know that when I click accept on a new app and I know that I'm the product, that thought is definitely always there.
Yeah, and I love that there's so many underlying themes that you can connect to. Even with Iris's character, and at the beginning of the season, we see that she goes through this big change that kind of shocks everyone. And it's something that, I can relate to. Anyone has gone through a change, either professionally, personally in their lives. And I wanted to know for you, has there ever been a moment in your career, or you can also speak personally, that you really made this like, hey, I need to make this change that really shocked everyone in your world?
I think in life sometimes it happens more gradually, like and sometimes there are events that happen. I mean, I was born in Berlin. I relocated to New York at some point, and there's some factor that has to do with 9/11 that definitely spurred me into some sort of new action or the desire to try and build bridges on some level with storytelling and bring people together on some level. I think it's hard to know it in the moment when it happens, but looking back, I think as we narrate the story of our lives, there's definitely, I think we all have these moments of like fierce sort of something needs to change. This is not, we can't continue down this path. And in a way, what's happening in the US right now, a lot of important conversations are happening that should have happened a long time ago, and now they're happening, and finally we have a chance to like reshape the narrative on some level. I mean, I think it needs to, we still have a lot to figure out, but right now it seems like a moment in time where it's really, we have a tremendous opportunity for change.
Yeah, is with that, we have conversations about women, especially women like Iris, who has agency over their bodies, over what they want to do with their lives. And I really want to ask, working on a show like this and writing for a character like Iris, how do you go about balancing having that respect level as to what Iris's choices are, what she decides to do with her time, with her body, especially in society when this is still such a taboo topic that we have. And it's one of the things that I really enjoy about the Girlfriend experience, really showcasing that women are intelligent, we're multi-layered. It doesn't matter what our career choices are, that we just have so many different aspects to us. And especially with women like Iris, that their work and who they are need to be respected.
Absolutely. I would say that the franchise and the film, The Girlfriend Experience, that Steven Soderbergh brought into the world, I think what they all have in common is a commitment to a non-judgmental point of view. Mm-hmm. It is really about exploring character. It's not about exploring in any kind of sort of salacious or gratuitous way, the, interaction between the girlfriend and her clients, that's really not what it is about, from a storytelling point of view or aesthetically. So when Julia and I got together, we talked it through, and was very clear from the get-go that the parameters for the show would be, it's not going to be, it's always about what the scene is about, what happens between two people. And we made a commitment to figuring it out together in a way that Iris would be the one in control. Iris would go in, drive the interaction, and there would never be, a camera angle or a scene blocking that would objectify her. It would always be an empowering sort of storytelling style.
No, you can totally see that. And so that's why I love this series, because it's just done so beautifully well, from the writing to how everything is shot. Everything that you just said, I truly saw all of that, and I felt all of that while watching the series on screen. So thank you for that. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for checking it out.
Oh, no problem at all. But what general thoughts would you want to leave with the audience after walking away from season 3 of The Girlfriend Experience?
I would hope that they enjoy the ride.
Look, enjoy the ride. They definitely will. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me and chat with me today. I really had a great time chatting with you. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.